Hello, welcome to the practical session of manufacturing technology. Today we are going to perform the metal inert gas welding. So before starting our practical performance of metal inert gas welding, that is known as a MIG welding, MIG welding, we have to know the practical concept of the welding. So welding is a permanent metal joining process, and with help of the welding we can join our two parts. So welding is a very useful process in every area of the engineering. So it is a process of joining the parts with help of the heat energy and also with help of the pressure and filler material, or sometimes without the pressure and without the filler material. So here in the welding we require some power source, we require some heat generation source, right? So in any welding process we have to generate the heat, and for that generation of the heat we need some power source. That is the general principle of the welding. So in today's session we are going to perform the practical of metal inert gas welding, right? So in the metal inert gas welding, this is the process under category of the arc welding. So here also we are using the electricity and also arc is generated. So here, as we all know, in the category of the arc welding, there are many processes in the classification of the arc welding, and in this classification one of the processes is our MIG welding, that is metal inert gas welding. So here metal arc welding, tungsten inert gas welding, then after metal inert gas welding, these are the processes under category of the arc welding process, and also a plasma arc welding and submerged arc welding. So all these processes are under classification of the arc welding. So in all these processes heat is generated with help of the arc. It means here heat generation is done by the arc. So here we have to generate the arc, and for this arc generation we are using the different power source. So in the metal inert gas welding, as the name suggests, here in this process inert gas is used. So name of the process is the metal inert gas welding. So before starting the performance of the metal inert gas welding, let us check the various parts and construction of the metal inert gas welding practical apparatus. So as the name suggests, metal inert gas welding, here we have to make arrangement for the inert gas supply. So here we are using the inert gas for saving our work material due to the oxidation, right? So here we have to avoid the contact of our weld pool, or we can say that our weld zone with the atmosphere. So for this we are using the inert gas. So here inert gas supply is used in this MIG welding, that is metal inert gas welding. Here one thing is very important. Here our electrode is used in form of small diameter wire. It means here in place of the electrode we are using the continuous feeding wire rod as a electrode. It means here we are using the small diameter wire that is continuously consumed or continuously fed in this process. So this is the main characteristic of this metal inert gas welding. So here, as per our discussion, we need some power source, and just by connecting our electrode and our work or base metal with some power source, we can generate the arc, and then heat is generated, and due to this heat we can perform our welding process. So just remember, here inert gas supply is used for saving our work metal, or say here direct atmosphere contact can be avoided just by flowing the inert gas. So your inert gas will make one layer above the weld zone, and it will avoid the direct contact of your weld zone with your atmosphere, right? So here that's why we are using the inert gas, and here continuous feeding wire electrode is also used. So with help of the motor we can continuously feed our wire, or say we can continuously feed our wire rod into this process. Okay, so in place of the power source, here we can use the AC power source as well as DC power source. So by just connecting our AC or DC power source, we can generate the heat. So in this process, arc is generated at the end of the small diameter wire. It means when you start your welding process and when you touch your wire with your workpiece material, arc is started. It means arc is initiated, and due to this arc, heat is generated. So here in this arc welding process, arc is generated. So arc is nothing but bundle of your energy, or in other language we can say that it is a spontaneous release of the electron, right? So when we supply the strong voltage and the current, your electron or say your electrical energy will be released spontaneously, and that is nothing but your arc. So let us discuss various components of our practical apparatus. So in the metal inert gas welding, as per our discussion, we are using the power source, that is a DC inverter. So here in this practical working we are using this DC inverter, and here just by setting the current you can start your welding process by setting the appropriate value, right? So here this is the DC inverter power source. So purpose of the power source is to supply the strong current, to convert your current from AC to DC in case of a DC inverter, and also generate the stable arc, because we are performing the arc welding process, and our process is the metal inert gas welding process. So power source is used in this process, and in general in every welding process we need some power source for generating the heat. So here DC inverter is used, having positive and negative connectivity, and here as per our discussion, here continuously feed wire. It means in place of the electrode we are using continuously feed wire rod that is serving as a electrode. So here MS metal wire is used as a continuously feed electrode, and this electrode is continuously driven inside our electrode holder with help of some motor. So here motor is used for continuous feeding of this wire electrode in case of the metal inert gas welding, right? So this is your metal continuous feeding wire electrode. So here electrode is used for generating the arc, and here this is our metal rod that is continuously consumed during the process. It means just by melting your wire is continuously required in this process. So here we are using this type of wire that is continuously melting, and with help of the motor we can continuous feed the extra wire from the supply of our continuous wire roller, right? So here we are using the roller on which wire is wound, and just by the motor we can continuously feed this wire into our welding process. So let us start our working practical of our metal inert gas welding setup. So here we have to use some inert gas. So inert gas is nothing but the gas that will not make any reaction, that is known as an inert gas. So this is the view for our welding shop, and in this welding shop we are going to perform our metal inert gas welding. So let us start our practical of the metal inert gas. So these are the plates to be joined, and when we switch on our setup, and here as you can see this is the carbon dioxide gas cylinder. So carbon dioxide gas can be used as a inert gas. So just by rotating the valve, and just by flowing the carbon dioxide gas we can start our practical. So here just by rotating this knob we can check the pressure and we can start our supply of our inert gas, that is carbon dioxide in our case. So when we switch on our setup, your wire is continuously feeding in our electrode holder, or we can say that our welding gun or welding holder, right? So just by switching on our setup, your motor will be start, and due to this motor your wire is continuously feeded inside the system. So now we are ready to start our working of our welding. So here we are making the overlap joint, that is known as a lap joint. So just by placing the one plate over the another, and just by in this position, just by touching your metal or say wire rod with your plate, your arc is generated, right? So by generating this arc, your continuous wire is feeded inside the system, and by continuous melting, here as you can see your roller is rotating. It means here your wire is continuously feeding inside the system, and just by this arc generation your tremendous amount of heat is generated, and due to this very high temperature you can generate the lap joint for the iron plates. So dimensions of the iron plates are also mentioned. So here we are making this type of lap joint. So this is all about this metal inert gas welding. Thank you all of you.